Hi, everybody. I hope you're doing great. I am so excited about our lesson today, Daniel in the Lion's Den. It is one of my favorite stories. And I know I say that a lot, but I just love a lot of these stories from the Old Testament. They are so unique and they have such powerful messages. So I'm very excited about this story today. Now, this story of Daniel in the Lion's Den is the second one in our Bible Art series. Last week, we talked about creation and we learned all the things that God created in the order in which He created them. And then you all received an email about some activities you could do. The Bible art activity was to create something out of Play-Doh or clay that represented one of your most favorite things that God created. This week, our artwork is going to be finger paint. And I know what your parents are thinking, not finger paint, anything but finger paint. But you'll see why at the end of the lesson. So let's go ahead and get started with our story. So this story takes place in a time when Daniel worked for a king named King Darius. And Daniel was amazing at his job. He was honorable, he was faithful, he was loyal, so much so that King Darius wanted to appoint Daniel over the whole area. And some of the other officials that worked alongside Daniel were jealous, as you can imagine, and they decided that they were going to come up with a plan that would get rid of Daniel. And they knew that the only way that they would be able to find any wrong or any reason for Daniel to be in trouble was if they went to his faith in God. So what they did is they went to King Darius and they told King Darius that he should come up with an order that would allow people to only pray to him for 30 days. People couldn't pray to any other god. They couldn't pray to any other human. They could only pray to King Darius. And King Darius went along with it. And he made this order that for 30 days, no one could pray to anybody but him. And if they didn't follow the order, then they would be thrown in a den of lions. Well, as you can imagine, Daniel didn't follow the order. Daniel kept doing exactly what he did every day. Every day, Daniel would go to his house 3 times a day, go upstairs into his room with the window open facing Jerusalem, and he would pray to God, thanking God and asking God for help. Well, the officials saw Daniel doing this and went back to the king and said, "Didn't you make an order that people could only pray to you for 30 days?" Acting like they didn't really know. They knew exactly what they were doing, trying to get Daniel in trouble. And the king said, "Yes, that's true." Well, they informed him that Daniel was still praying to God. And so King Darius tried all the way until sundown to get Daniel to follow the order and not pray to God. But Daniel would not back down. So King Darius had no other option but to throw him into a den of lions. And the officials kept reminding him that that is exactly what needed to happen with Daniel. Now, as you can imagine, King Darius was very sad about this because Daniel was one of his best officials. But King Darius had to follow through with the order. It couldn't be changed. So he had Daniel placed in a den of lions. And upon putting him in there, he said, "You have always been faithful to your God, so may he save you." And at that point, they sealed the rock that would hold Daniel in the lion's den. And King Darius went back to his quarters. Now, King Darius could not eat, he couldn't drink, he could not sleep the whole night because he was so sad about the situation. As soon as he could in the morning, he went straight over to the den of lions and he called out to Daniel, hoping that God had saved him. And to his great joy, Daniel was still alive. He ordered to have that rock moved, and Daniel came out, and when they observed him, he had not a single scratch or mark on his body at all. God had closed the mouths of the lions. It's such an amazing story because Daniel had plenty of opportunities to not do the right thing. Yes, the law said that he had to pray to King Darius, but he knew that he should only be praying to God, and he stuck with that. And he knew his fate would be to go into a lion's den. And still, he did not walk away from what he knew God wanted him to do. And God saved him for it. Now, this story is so neat because I know there have been many times in my life where I had an opportunity to do the right thing or do the wrong thing. And sometimes I didn't always choose the right thing. One of the things that comes to mind is one time I was going out with my friends and my dad told me that he wanted me to drive my car. He didn't want anybody to ride with me, and he didn't want me to ride with anybody else. And I told him that I knew that. And when I got to my friend's house, there were 3 of us there, and it was time to go to wherever we were going to go. I can't remember, maybe the mall or something like that. And I said that I would drive myself. And my friend said, well, why don't you just ride with me? There's no sense in us taking 3 cars. And I said, well, my dad really wants me to drive myself. And he said, well, he's not here, and it's just right up the road, so it's really not a big deal. And I knew that I shouldn't get in the car with him, but I did it anyway. And we were about 2 or 3 minutes from our destination, and my friend accidentally ran a red light, and we almost got hit by another car. And that was such a scary, scary moment. And I just kept thinking, what if something would have happened? The responsibility would have fallen on me, because my dad had already told me that he didn't want me to ride with anybody. And of course I did tell my dad about the story and what happened, and I felt bad for it. And I asked for forgiveness from him and from God, because I knew what I was supposed to do, but I didn't do it. And every day we're faced with decisions like that, of doing the right thing or not doing the right thing. And Daniel reminds us that it's not always easy to choose the right thing, but it's always worth doing the right thing. So our challenge today from this lesson is to stand up for what you know is right, and to make sure that you share your faith whenever it's possible. By Daniel choosing not to pray to King Darius, he was choosing to share his faith in God. And other people believe in God when we do things like that. So I challenge you to stand up for what's right and to share your faith as often as you can. So let's get back to this Bible art finger painting business. Our finger painting art is this. Yes, finger painting is messy, but in the end, you have a beautiful piece of artwork. When our life gets a little messy sometimes, God can turn those messes into beautiful things. And in the story of Daniel, things got a little messy. Daniel ended up in the lion's den, but in the end, God made it something beautiful. So I am so excited to see some of the finger paint artwork that you all are going to send in to me over the next couple of days. I cannot wait. Now, I do have a few announcements for you, but before we do that, I would love to close in prayer. Dear God, we thank you so much for today, and we thank you for the story of Daniel. We thank you for his loyalty and his faithfulness and his commitment to his faith in you. God, I just pray that you would help us to have the same boldness in our lives, that when we're faced with decisions to do right or wrong, that we would choose right. And when we have opportunities to share our faith or not, that we would choose to share it. God, give us the strength that only you can give, and help us to make the right decisions for your glory. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, so here's a few announcements. Number 1, in last week's video, there was a hidden Bible buck. I've heard from some of you where it is, and you've earned your Bible buck. If you haven't told me where you found it, make sure that you send me a video or a text where it is so I can put you down for another Bible buck. Also, all of the activities that I email to you are optional, but when you complete any of them, they are each worth a Bible buck. So make sure you send a picture or a text letting me know that you have completed activities. And I'm still working on creating our schedule for video and phone conversations. I've already had some video and phone conversations with some of you, and I look forward to many, many more. So if you want to get on the schedule for video conferences and phone calls, please send me a text, Send a message on Facebook, email, any avenue that you can, and let me know when you'd like to talk and in what way that you want to do that, whether it's video or phone conversations. And last but not least, don't forget about Bible trivia. The Bible trivia for the month of April is centered around all things Holy Week. So if you want to learn some things about Monday, Thursday, or Good Friday, Easter Sunday, Palm Sunday, anything like that, make sure that you do the Bible trivia as a family. I believe there's 6 or 7 questions this month, so each of those is worth a Bible buck. So that's a really great opportunity to get some Bible bucks saved. Now I will see you again tomorrow for a short Monday, Thursday video. Then I'll see you on Friday for Stations of the Cross video, and then we'll see each other again on Sunday morning. I miss you all so much. With each day that goes by, I get more and more sad about not seeing you, but I am so grateful. I know I've said it before. Parents, thank you so much for the videos, the texts, the video chats, the conversations on the phone. They mean so much to me. So please keep them coming, and I look forward to the day we can be back together again. But until then, make sure you're doing the right thing and share your faith whenever you can. I love you all, and I'll see you soon. What did I even say? Was to create a create a creation. And Daniel was, oh boy.
Two bati, but two bati, oh.